Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation on linguistics and politics. My name is Kazi Islam, and let's get started, guys. So, the purpose of this presentation, right, is to tell you guys how to recognize, no, it's not to tell you guys how to recognize, but it's for us collectively to recognize some linguistic themes that occurs in politics, right? To understand the impact of these linguistic themes in politics, right? How they affect us, how they affect society, all that stuff, and to develop linguistic strategies for political campaigns. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of us are going to run a political campaign, but start to think about what you might want your strategy to be, your linguistic strategy to be while running a political campaign. So in order for us to do all of this, first of all, it's important for us to get some information. So what is linguistics, right? So linguistics is the scientific study of language. It's pretty simple, right? Scientific study of language. It involves analyzing the form, meaning, and context, right? So you might be taking a look at form, right, which is basically like, for example, the structure of your sentences, right? The meaning that it imparts, and also the context, because the context can, words have to be taken in context, right? But linguistics is more than that. It's more than just the analysis of language. It also looks at how social, cultural, historical, political, all of these factors influence language, and how language influences these factors. So it's kind of like a cycle where you have social, cultural, and political factors affecting our language, but then our language also affecting our society, our culture, and our politics, right? And since we're doing linguistics and politics, it's also important to understand what politics is. In this presentation, we're going to take the definition of politics to be discourse or debate in hopes of achieving power, right? So that's going to be our understanding of politics. Politics has a broader definition, which is to basically solve public problems, but more often than not, these public problems are solved through discourse and debates, as we're all very used to seeing in the political realm. So, okay, linguistics and politics. Okay, that slide is free for some reason. All right, rhetoric and policy. So, I wanted to say that the 2016 election was historic. I know we always hear this, but let me tell you exactly why it was historic, right? It was the first time that a female presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, ran against a presidential candidate without any previous political experience, Donald Trump, right? And furthermore, what made this election even crazier was the fact that polls predicted that Hillary Clinton was going to win, right? But clearly Donald Trump won. And so when this happened, it kind of shocked the world. And at the same time, it led all sorts of people, especially academics, to figure out why Donald Trump won, right? Like, for them to like academically analyze the reason for Donald Trump's victory. And one of the fields that academics really poured in while trying to figure out the results of the election was linguistics. And the reason for this is because people realized, right? Not people realized, but people acknowledged all throughout the campaign and the elections that Donald Trump spoke in a very deviant way, right? He did not speak like former presidential candidates. He didn't even speak like somebody running for presidency. He had a very unique and a very deviant form of communication with the public. And so that's why linguists poured into academia to figure out why, if there was some connection between how Trump's rhetoric affected his election. And so surprisingly, there is. And so one of the studies, and the references are at the back, right? But one of the studies that that looked into the rhetoric, compared the rhetoric of Hillary and Trump. And so there's this thing called the rhetorical triangle. I'm pretty sure you guys remember this from high school. The rhetorical triangle consists of the three most fundamental strategies used in rhetoric, right? That's ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos being credibility, right? So that's when you see like a Gatorade ad, but the Gatorade is being drunk by LeBron James, right? Credibility, right? Pathos, which is emotion, appealing to emotion.